welcome to another video from the Ice Bear. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share with your friends, and here we go! Now then, welcome back. As you may or may not recall from the last video, the engine is away being tested. I'm still working on the car, getting some few bits done, and then it'll be off to Graham and then rebuilt. So that's where we're up to. Let's jump into it. Don't forget to subscribe while you're here. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, hit the button and cost out. You might like it, you never know. See you in a bit. Put the front back on, took it outside, and I've taken the struts out. One there, one there. Don't know why I've put them like that, but here we are. Now I've bought adjustable top mounts so I can get rid of any negative camber, so I can get the tyre flatter on the ground, because we were noticing that inner edge is wearing a bit more than the rest. So with that, I'm going to take the negative camber out. But in order to fit them top mounts, I need a little cup making. So I'm going down to Combrake, where I got the mounts from, and they said they can make them like 25 quid a go. So I was like, alright, sound. They're only in Wigan, so it's not far away from me to go and drop them off one day this week and pick them up one day next week or something. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I don't know how long they'll do it or how long they'll take, but whatever. So that's it. That's all I can do for now. We're just crossing my fingers. I'll take these at one day this week, and we're crossing my fingers waiting for Thursday for the engine, and yeah, we shall see you then. Cheers.
Like it when you talk dirty to me.
Afternoon all. Suspension is the name of the game today. So we've taken the struts out and we're trying to fit the fancy new strut tops. So got these off Combrake. And it turned out I was missing a piece. I was missing the spring cups here, the upper spring cups. And it won't fit without them. So it's been down to Combrake and they've sorted me out. So I took the strut with me just to make sure. And now we've got top spring cups for the top. If I can get the words out.
What an idiot!
So now it's just a case of reassembling it. So I've just wound them off. So we should be able to assemble it and all should work fine. And then we'll do the same for the other side. So let's find out. Okay, so we have helper spring, and then that, then a top cup which goes down to there, then the top mount, and then this nut goes over, like that. That should centre on that. There we go, like that. And to tighten the nut up, so we'll get the old boy pliers out. Now, if you're going to put mould grips on a damper rod, make sure it's right at the tippy top, so it's never going to go through the seals and cause a leak and a mess. We've got a 2-inch bump stop at the top of this, so we're nowhere near going to get the top of that into the bottom of that rod, or if we do, the seals on this are the least of our fucking problems.
You know, I'm doing this for free, so don't break my balls, okay?
So I'll get as high as I can. I don't want to be too tight on it, but I want to...
That's what she said!
be tight enough to hold it. And they're going to be a 19, aren't they? So, so far so good.
2,000 years later.
And there we have it. So pop that off. But getting gauge in there. Still got movement in the top bearing, which is cool. And we can still reach the adjuster. Simple as that. Right. Now I just need to compress the spring back up and get it somewhere near the same height as that one. So I want to keep the same ride height. And I don't think we've gained anything. Any distance between the spring and that. We've maybe even lost a touch of out. But yeah, well, we'll go from there. And I'll wind the spring up and then we'll do the other side. Easy. Okay, so I've just wound the top cup up to match this side. So then you just wind the second ring up to meet it and then lock them off together, and that stops them moving. All being well. So that's met the top of that one. Move this.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
Because as you're locking that one, you don't want the top one moving, so that will alter your height. So get the old C-spans out. So I'm going to lock this one over, but I don't want that one to move. So yeah, go. Get the nip up, and that is that strut ready to go back on the car. So now I want camber adjustment is why I'm doing this. So where the tab on the bottom goes into the back of the hub, that's pretty well straight on. So we want the top mount to be facing us, so we can move the strut in and out, and therefore have the wheel in the and the strut move like that. Because currently it's set with a bit of negative camber. Realistically, I want to move the top of the strut out to then straighten it up to get the tyre to sit flat on the ground. To get all of the tyre touching the ground, because we ain't going around corners drag racing, no, we're just going in a flat out straight line. So that all the tyre wants to be on the ground at all the time. And the only point you put camber in is to when you go around the corner and it leans a bit and it then fits the flat or flattens the tyre onto the surface. We don't need that because we're on a flat surface and we're going in a straight line. So that's what this whole exercise is for. So we shall see. There we go, something like that. So I'm going to set these as a degree the way I want it as a starting point. I'm going to have to take it for tracking and get it actually nailed on with some gauges attached to it and stuff. Right, so I'll set that and then we'll set to the other side. Okay, time for the other side. So first job is to separate the rings, or unlock these two rings from each other, and then we can wind them down to any tension off the spring. So probably going to use a rubber hammer because I have no idea when the last time that happened was. So I'll put that on there and get the old rubber hammer out. We want the shock but not the twattingness. There we go. Let's free that bottom one off. So I can now wind it all out. And we can hopefully wind that one off as well. Now, we're going to give these threads a bit of a squirt with 3-in-1. Just to help them all along, you know. Take a lot of the tension off. go. Oh, the tension's mostly off. Right. So then we move the bump stop down. And then I can put my nollies back on, right up close to the top as I can get. Like that. And then that's a 19. But we'll use an impact on that. Because we don't want to be faffing around, do we? 3/8 should be enough. Get the old Milwaukee to the rescue. Just like that. Nice and easy. Now I might have a little pop when I pop this, but not by a lot. Yeah, there we go. So, one standard top mount. Spring, helper spring and plastic cup. Cushy. So to rebuild is just the reverse. So helper spring and plastic cup. Normal spring, flat side down. Like that. New top spring cup. Like that. Like that. New top mount. And then new nut. Steady now. And then we'll put the old doodahs up. Like that. Do this one-handed. Send her on home. We'll put a bit of lube on the threads because there is always time for lubricant, alright?
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity.
Missed. Make sure it's lined up, and then yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much topped out, and we're gonna give the mole grips a little tighten. Just to make double sure. Yeah, that's the start as that's going to go. And there we have it. Still got room in the bearing. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Crack these off. Line it up to where I want, so I want the adjustment to be in the same line as that adjustment. In the same line as the back of the strut in the middle of the car. So like that, and 0 is there, so we want the top of the strut this way, on just under 2 is what I've decided for now. Arbitrary number because we've got to put it on a tracking system, get it to where we actually want it, but for now just under 2 is where we'll be. And that is how you do that. And now I just need to wind the spring back up where it was before. there, I reckon. Yeah, about there. So put that back to there.
What we've got here is failure.
That needs to be there, or thereabouts. Like that. Now this ring needs to come up to the bottom of it. Oh, what's happened to my camera there, look? That's a bit of a jaunty angle, isn't it? Need to do something about that, don't we? Alright, hang on then. We'll have to see. Oh. Turns out the battery in my tripod's died. It won't hold the phone up anymore. Hey ho. We'll sit you guys up here for now. We'll move that. And sit you up there. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing, can't you? Well, you can see me. So I'm just winding that spring, or the retaining sort of collar, back up to the bottom of the lower spring cup, like so. And then I'll just lock them together with the C-spanners. There we go. And that is jobbed. 2 struts, ready, reassembled with adjustable top mounts, ready to go back in the car. Nice and easy. Right, I'll throw them back in the car and I'll catch up with you when I've done that. Right, jobbed I think. So they're all in. Needed some extra washers on. Other than that, they're all in. Now I'm going to need to fully grind this edge off so I can easily to get onto the adjuster's screw bolts you can see just there. Otherwise it'd be a pain in the dick to try and actually make any adjustments once it's on the car. So, no, that's a huge problem. It's nothing a grinder can't fix, so grind them out, probably with a die grinder actually, make it a bit of a neater hole and just elongate the whole bit around it, and yeah, that should do it. Okay. Struts are loaded back in, back on its wheels, struts are in, everything's hunky-dory, button back up, ready for overnight. So, nothing left for me to do now, but wait till tomorrow. D-Day for the engine, that, to find out if it's cracked or not. So the next time you'll see me will be tomorrow. I'll either be crying, or I'll be happy as a pig in shit. And if I'm happy, that means tomorrow night we're painting an engine block. If we're sad, then who knows? We'll have to get one stripped and get it to machine shop, and who knows how long that'll take. So, yeah, tune into, well, a couple of moments for you. 24 hours for me of waiting and crossing my fingers and seeing what's happening before we can move forward. So yeah, I'll check in with you then. Okay, Thursday. I've picked the engine up. It's down here on the floor at van next to me. And it's A-OK! No cracks, no nothing. Happy fucking days. Eh? Happy with that. Right, needs a little bit of a clean up. And then paint it. Probably this evening, or probably next up for you. And yeah, but yeah. So, I am over the moon about that. I had fully talked myself into it being absolutely cracked and ruined and needing a new one making. But apparently not. So we're good to go. So yeah, all being well, I clean it up, paint it up. Got one little job left to do on the car, and then the car side of things is done. And then we can put it all back together, go to dyno, and then go do some racing. Right. Thursday, engine is good, time to paint it. We've got it masked up, got the darts on the CV, time to paint it. X primer, green, banging. Right. Hopefully I don't gas myself with the fumes, but you know, I've been high before. Right, so that's a couple of hits of primer. Looks pretty decent, but primer always does. Time to shake up the colour. First coat on. This can's getting a bit weak now, so I'm going to swap it for a fresher. So far so good. Couple of coats on it now. Let it sort of go off for 10 minutes and maybe a touch up, and then that may well be it. Right, that's the lot. It's green, so we'll leave that to dry. We'll go in the house, watch some darts. We'll be back tomorrow to touch up the strut tops. Everything's good. Good morning. Saturday. Engine's painted and dry. A lovely shade of green, that. Still got some of the leak detection in it, we'll get that washed out. Yeah, that's all green and span-dabby-dozy. So the job for this morning, before I take the engine and stuff to Graham, is make some room to get to the adjustment nuts. So you can see a bit of start on this side. So we've got to slice them out and then tap it up with a bit of paint. So we've got to do the other side. Over here, same idea. So cut out a couple of channels on either side, neaten up the edges as best we can, just so we can get to them little adjuster nuts. Otherwise, you've got to take the strut out every time you want to make an adjustment, which is, well, fuck that, let's be honest.
Language.
So I'd rather cut 2 slots in it. Although, once it's set, there should be no reason to change it. So, nah. I'm still lazy, so I still wouldn't want to take the strut out just to change it and try and put it back, and then take it out and put it back, and take it out and put it back, and balls to that. So this is what we're doing. So yeah, I'll carry on and I'll do the other side, the back half of each of these two, and then we'll check in then. Right then, jobbed. We can get to all the bolts now and get to the adjustment. Not the world's neatest job, and the paint's a little bit wet, so, you know, don't crucify me in the comments, you know what I mean? But the job has been accomplished. I might hit it with a bit of the same paint as the rest of the engine bay, but that'll have to wait until them struts are coming out at some point. So for now, it's just got a bit of black Ford touch-up paint on it, just to stop them rusting out silly. I'm going to give it a blow off now, blow gun, make sure there's no like metal filings and everything, because I don't know if you can see it on camera. Oh, you can, yeah. All them filings, they need to be gone. So we'll get rid of them with the blowgun, and then I can move on to making a template to plug that oval shaped hole there. So I'm going to make a template for that, so I can plug that up, and it needs a little little grommet in it because the vacuum line for the pressure sensor in the fuel tech goes through it. So I've bought some grommets, so pop a little grommet in the middle of it so we don't have a hole in the firewall basically. And then there is another hole where the clutch lines go through. Not entirely sure how I'm going to plug that like, but this needs 2 holes in it, so maybe it might need 2 half moons cutting out of a disc, and some grommets can half grommets can fit over it or something, you know. We'll figure something out. Right, so that's next job. I'll blow it out and then start making a template. Catch up with you soon. Okay, update time. So we're trying to fill this oblong hole right there. So this is what we've come up with. Got a grommet in the middle. We're going to pop 2 rivets on it and a load of black nasty around it and fit it something like that. So I'm going to mount. I'm going to pop off of this up, drill the holes for the rivets, give it a wicker paint, and bead a black nasty around it, and then stick it on the car. Covers that big old hole up and gives us the hole with a little grommet on it. See that? Yeah, here we go. For the boost pipe, or map sensor. And yeah, good to go. I'll check in once I've done it. Right, fairly pleased with that. That's how we've ended up. So we've got little rivets in it as well. Base of a black nasty. Once that's dry, I can hit it with the same paint as everywhere else. And that's done. And the only other thing we've got to do is that hole there. But with Graham having a laser cutter, I might get him to just cut me that circle out, and then I can notch it to put 2 more grommets in, sort of 12 and 6, and to rest these clutch lines on, so it can cover the hole and still have. So we've got a couple of wires coming through it as well. So I think if I get him that circle out in that size, and I can cut some like U channels in it, put some grommets in it, and cut the bottom of the grommets and have the lines go through that. One at the top, one at the bottom, couple of little wires, whatever they're for, without unwrapping that bag. I've no idea. Yeah, happy as that. So that's pretty much all I can do while I'm still at home. Next, taking the engine and all the bits to Graham, ready for him to assemble it. I'll do that at some point today. Now, as for filming the engine assembly, I have no idea, because I don't know exactly when Graham's going to do it. So if he lets me know when I'm there, we can film a bit of it. If not, then you'll just see it assembled. But there's plenty of YouTube videos about how to assemble an engine, and you don't need to see this one. And it's, you know, same old, same old. And then obviously we'll get the car down there and get it all put back together. We booked in at the dyno now for April 4th, Friday the 4th of April. So we'll go down there, go into Gordon at Street Races, get it just checked over. I mean, it's mapped anyway, but we've changed the turbo and changed a few bits, so a check over, make sure it's right, and sort of top end stuff with the bigger turbo and higher boost rating, or well, higher boost pressure, I should say, and see where it's happy, you know, and then stay over the Friday night somewhere, maybe in Campers, I don't know, maybe in Gordon's yard, I don't know. Lay-by, truck stop, wherever, and then to pod the day after. This is a Saturday night special, which is the day before Fast Show, so there should be a few of the guys there, the front wheel drive guys, and nice to catch up and see some of them, get a few test hits in, and then any niggles, and then we're back ready to park it up, hopefully, for door slammers, unless there's any niggles or any bits and pieces that need doing, in which case we've got about a month to get those done before door slammers. So yeah, happy days. I shall crack on and I'll check in with you in a little bit. Evening all, we're in the garage again. Tonight's job, we need to plug that all up. Well, we don't. We need to put a trim around it, which is this. First bit back from the powder coaters. Lovely bit of alley that Graham's made me. Just had it powder coated gloss black. And I am referring to that piece as the chili ring, because why not?
Shut the fuck up, fat man. This ain't none of your goddamn business.
I was going to say chocolate starfish, but it ain't brown, is it? So in here, fresh out of China, some of China's finest rivets. Black ones. So, Graham cut the holes to fit Clecos, which he tells me are 1/8 of an inch, with them being American, which is 3.2mm. And these are 3.2mm rivets, handily enough. And black. as you can see. So obviously only the black bit remains. If those of you don't know how to work rivets, I assume most of you do. Silver bit comes out, leaves the black bit behind, and holds in the chili ring. So first job, let's make sure they fit through the holes. Oh, like a fucking glove. Lovely. Check the holes in the car and then fire some rivets through. Easy. What could possibly go wrong?
Danger's my middle name.
I'll check back with you in a few minutes once it's done. It should only take me that long. Easy as that. A little bit of a little ream out on 2 of the holes, but other than that, we now have a fully functioning. Look at that shine in that vinyl. We now have a fully functioning chili ring. Neatens it up fucking lovely. Fantastic. Alright, job for this evening. Nothing else to do for today. What are we doing next? Taking engine stand back to Graham. And... oh, because like a dickhead, look who left them in the garage when I took all the engine bits to Graham. This dickhead, that's who. So I'll take them bits. And also, exhaust manifold. Forgot that. I had that stuffed over there on the shelf. So, yeah, I'll take them bits down to him on Thursday. She said towards the end of the week he'd be putting engine together. So he may have done some of it already. Don't know. But yeah, that's all for now. Update on Thursday with that. Yeah. So in the words of Tigger, TTFN. Now then all, we're back in the garage again. This time we are still plugging holes up. The hole in question is that one there with the 2 green pipes and the 2 little wires going through it. So the solution is that little plate there. Just been down to Graham's. Dropped the rest of the engine bits off that I forgot that I left up there. Them green bits and the exhaust manifolds, I forgot that. So they're all now with Graham. He's going to crack on with that after he's got an Audi to finish and an exhaust to make on a Fiat Sequento or something. And then he'll be on with building the engine. And then this is Thursday, so then next weekend, not this one coming, the one after, take the car to him and then he can put it all back together. So, of course, that'll be first week of March, won't it? Yeah, so first week of March he'll put it back together and then got basically a month from that point before the dyno and test day. And yeah, and then so we're all good. So the plan is to put that bracket over that hole. So there's 2 holes in that ready for the 3.2mm rivets. So I'm going to mount it over the car and I've got some grommets. Where have I put them? Got some grommets down there in that tray. Now I put a slice through the grommets so I can pop them over the pipe because I don't want to disconnect them and piss brake fluid everywhere. So I'm going to pop them over that, wedge the bracket on, fix that in, then hook the grommets into position. And they might need a bit of glue because obviously we're not dealing with perfectly round holes here, so might need a bit of a glue, bit of sticker flex, bit of black nasty, whatever to hold them in place, but it'll stop any chafing and cover the hole up, which is the aim of the game. So I'm going to let that dry, just hit it with a little paint. I'm going to let it dry for a few minutes and then get it nailed onto the car. Okay, round 2 of trying to cover this fucking hole up. This is version 1. Now I did fit it to the car, sort of that way around, with this bent tab facing forward, but as you can see, those cutouts are now bigger than 13, which doesn't fit what I was trying to do. Well, I mean, it was made to how I asked for it to be made, but I didn't really understand what I was talking about by the look of it. So this is round 2, a couple more tabs on it. And as you can see, them 2 cutouts at 12 and 6. The idea is to get a grommet in there, cut around the green pipes, to then stop them rubbing, you know, or prevent them from rubbing or anything. So I'm going to go at making this. I've cut this out with the grinder, so it's not exactly a circle, so, you know, don't worry about it. It was cut with a cutting disc. Don't worry. It'll be covered in paint and buried down there behind the gearbox. You'll never see it. So I'm going to give it a clean up and offer it up down there and see where we're going to be. If not, I might just give up and have Graham make me one because he's going to be 10 times better at doing this sort of shit than I am. So I'll give it a clean up and test fit and I'll check in then. Right, that's probably as good as I'm going to get it, so we'll show you. There we are. Grommets top and bottom for the clutch lines to come out and then 2 little grey wires. 3 rivets holding it in, and you can no longer see into the cabin. I'm going to call that a win. Not the nicest thing in the world, not the neatest thing in the world, but for my skill set, which is pretty fucking low, then when it comes to stuff like that anyway, you know, it does the job. It's not going to fall out. There's grommets around it, so it's not going to rub through the wires. I mean, those are braided lines anyway, so the stainless steel wrapped around probably a PTFE tube with that green colouring just for shits and giggles, so it's got quite a way to burn through before it'll cause a leak anyway, you know. So we're happy with that. Yeah, I think I'm totally done now, sort of car-wise. As we've seen, engine's alright, so Graham has that. This is Sunday. During this week, he's putting the engine together. I've already said, spoke to him about it, and next weekend I'm dropping the car off with him, to then cross the course of the following week, so he'll put it all back together and bolt it in the car. And then we're down at the dyno on the 4th of April, Friday the 4th of April, and then day after we're at Pod for some test runs. Yeah, we'll go from there. Hey, we're in the workshop, Graham's workshop, and here under this blanket is one green engine. Look at that! Oh, giggity, 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 goo. Car's dropped off. Sat with Graham. The horrors are with me. So it's taken longer than it should, but hey, we're done. Yeah. So Graham will start that on Monday. Probably finish up the head and then get it all in the car, and then a week or two's time we're away to go. Get in there now. Tell you, some of the shit that you see as a tool seller. One axle stand, all four wheels off the ground, and a lump of wood holding it up to stop it rocking. By Dynamo Dave here. Eh? Ingenious as fuck. Don't take the wood out. Okay, been a little while, been a few days, but I am back in Graham's workshop because the powder coater has finished some of the stuff. And here it is, properly bright green tank, breather tank and flywheel shield. And if we look over here, ta-da! Engine and box is in, refitting's going lovely. Yes, loads of extra room back there. Now that's been cut out. A couple of little niggly jobs and fiddly jobs to go, and on with the old rebuild. Happy days. Howdy, we're here. Look at all that we've done. Well, the we is, there's the we. Yeah. Tanks in, various other bits buttoned up. That bracket will have to be modified, so it doesn't fucking fit, unlike what eBay says.
It's shite.
Proper shite. Doesn't fit. Have to be modified. Under trays are undertaking. It'll look something like that and fit under there. Don't ask me how, because I'm not doing it. So while I was with Graham and Doc for the day, that power steering bracket wouldn't fit properly because of the belt routing. Where the belt came off the top of the pulley there, it hits against the water pump, and that's obviously no good. So Graham made an extra bracket for that bracket to fit on the other bracket to make it all work. Don't ask me how he did it, because I didn't see it, but he's done it and it works. And as if by magic, the makings of an under tray that will hold around 20 litres. Or whatever comes out of all that, if I blow it up. Lovely. Bit of a stretch doing 3mm in the old bender, but you know, we managed it. And as ever, the dock has been incredibly useful. Stood outside on the phone, huffing and puffing, bending 3mm. Okay, that was a Thursday. Now, a few days later, after I'd been down at the docks and Grays that day, I got the following video just to get me all wet and moist and excited. Morning all. Another Sunday morning in the garage. Well, although this time it's a little different because look who's back! Isn't that magical? Loads has been done. Obviously you saw me cutting all that out. Car's been at Graham's the whole time. He's put the engine and box, well, put the engine together, engine and box back in, rebuilt it all, put me a new blow-off valve in the boost pipe, altered the locations of the master cylinder and the not master cylinder, reservoir, and the fuel pressure reg there. So the only job for me is I've painted myself another one of these covers, so we're going to see what that looks like. And I've got to take one of them boost outlets off and get it onto the blow-off valve, so that works. And other than that, bit of a clean on the inside, it's a bit dusty and shit. Oh, and fit me new harness. This last one ran out of date, so fit that. And then that's it. We're ready for the dyno, which is what, 2 weeks away now. So I need to get it tracked. So I'll probably do that the day before. Then it can just stay on the trailer, ready for the drive down there. With the new, thanks to the new strut tops, we can do the camber as well now. So yeah, get tracking done, get the camber adjusted, and then dyno, and then all being well, day after we're at pod. Jobbed. Nice and easy. So let's have a look. Yeah, little vac line, zip tied up nicely, and off to there. And the other one I've just tied down there, so it looks like it's doing something, but it isn't. But it's blocked off. New covers on in green with the old Fuel Tech badge. Fuel Tech, hashtag Fuel Tech everywhere. Right, the only other thing is there's a new expansion bottle to come. Just the tab got broken off, so they're only like 15 quid off eBay, them little things. And that's about it. Yeah, that's all I can think of. I'm just going to clean the inside out, dust it and wipe it down, so I'm not going to bore you with any of that. So that will wrap up this video. Next time we'll be at the dyno and then at Santa Pod doing some test hits. Should be good. But yeah, thanks for watching. And we'll catch you next time. Ready to go? Yay!